For this week's video, I'm going to be unboxing two AntsCanada Hybrid Nest Minis, along with the AntsCanada Hybrid Nest for the Camponotus and the AntsCanada Outworld. I will also be decorating this Outworld that I unboxed using the AntsCanada Rainforest Biome Kit. And after that, I will be introducing my Chromatogaster colony to it because they need a new Outworld. Enjoy today's video. Here's everything that came in the package, including the Camponotus Hybrid Nest, two Hybrid Nest Minis, the AntsCanada Outworld, and all the contents of the Rainforest Biome Kit, which I will get into in a bit. Let's start with the AntsCanada Hybrid Nest Camponotus. When you open the package, you can see there is this little flap sort of thing that has a piece of tubing and a test tube in it. Also, in the little watering lip area of the nest, you can see all of the other parts, including the stopper and the test tube connectors. Here's everything in the box unpackaged. First, you can get the AntsCanada test tube, and you also get this piece of vinyl tubing to connect nests together, nest to outworlds, or nest to test tubes. The next thing you get is this test tube adapter, which I'm not quite sure what it does yet. You also get these small test tube adapters that go into the nest. One of them is a larger size for larger ants, and the other one is for smaller ants. The last thing you get are these little stoppers for the nest with little air holes in it. Now moving on to the nest itself. It has this little lid that you can take off so that you can view the ants inside. It has this little area here that you can write something in so that you know what colony is in the nest. The nest actually has 4 holes in it that allows you to add additional nests, tubing, or test tubes to, unlike the Hybrid Nest Mini, which only has 2. There's also a little heating section on the side where you can put a heating cable in, and that will allow the ants to migrate to either a warmer or cooler section of the nest. Now moving on to the Outworld. The box it comes in is also blank except for the top. When you open it, you get the large vinyl tubing, along with a random piece of styrofoam in there for no reason. Here's everything that came in the box with the Outworld. First thing you get are 2 little plugs that you can attach and block off the entrances. Next comes some large vinyl tubing, which you can attach to the Outworld, and you can attach the other end to nest or something else. The last thing you get is the actual Outworld, which comes with a little top which you can just put some food in for the ants. It also opens up here so you can apply the barrier, which we'll get to it in a minute, around the outside of the Outworld. Are also some small little holes for ventilation. Now let's unbox the Hybrid Nest Minis. Most of you have already watched my channel and seen me unbox some of these before. For those of you that don't though, you get the same exact tools that you get in the Camponotus Hybrid Nest. And last up we have the Rainforest Biome Kit. It comes with this stuff that you mix with water that eventually turns into like a hard cement sort of thing. It also comes with some fake plants and moss and basically just stuff to decorate the Outworld with. And last up we get these decorative stones, some big and some small. Now we have to pour in this mixture and mix it with half water, so that we get this sort of toothpaste consistency that we'll be able to mold the ground of the Outworld with. Here is the ground completed. Now I'm adding these small stones before I add in the plants just as decoration. Now it's time to add the big rocks. I'm going to be putting some honey and possibly some food on these rocks later, so it's good to have a good amount of them. Also, it looks nice and more like the rainforest. Now it's time to add the plants. I'm going to be fiddling around with them a little bit until I figure out where I want everything to go. Here's the finished Outworld. Now, I have moved the sticks and stuff around a little bit to my liking, and so they don't touch the top. The reason I don't want them to touch the top is just in case I try to feed them, and the brush gets past the barrier, and the ants can go past it. So, anyways, I am thinking about putting all of their food on a little bottle cap instead, so that I don't get any excess debris and mold on the rocks. Now it is time to add the barrier. I'm going to be using Fluon, and I'll just cover the entire surface of the lip so the ants can get past it. Alright, here is the current setup for the Camponotus colony we're going to be attaching the Outworld to. The Ants Australia Outworld that I used a while ago is being used as a small little roaming space right now, which I'll detach in a minute. Okay, now I'm sure a few of you have been wondering when I'm going to announce the winners of the Camponotus name vote. Now, the 4 names that we voted on in last week's episode were the Darkened Hearts, the Black Bishops, Midnight Dynasty, and the Dark Warriors. Now, the Darkened Hearts, 15% of you wanted them to be the name, 54% wanted the Black Bishops, 25% wanted the Midnight Dynasty, and 4% wanted Dark Warriors. So that makes the Black Bishops the official name for the Camponotus colony. Thanks for voting, everyone. I am also going to be attaching an AntsCanada Hybrid Nest Mini to their setup. This will allow the ants to have a new space to move into for when they feel necessary. They've almost outgrown their test tube by now, and they have around 200 workers. Now I'm going to be attaching some cotton to the bottom of the nest so that the water can seep into it and last longer before I have to water it again. I'm going to be expecting myself to water this around once every few days. Here is the ants' new setup. I plugged up one of the holes for a future connection, and I ended up putting the hybrid nest in between the ants' old setup and the Outworld in hopes for them to move into it in the future. Alright guys, that is going to wrap up this episode. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys every Sunday with an upload. If there's anything you want to see different, or if there's anything else you want to see me do in the comments, then please let me know. And again, I'll see you all on Sunday. Peace.